want to start off the show. We always talk about the real estate statistics and kind of how they compare to other parts of the country, other parts of the state. And we always look at this because we're always talking to real estate brokers from around the country. We have a show and we network with a lot of other real estate radio show hosts. We network with other top producing real estate agents. So I'm always curious kind of what's going on in their market. And in some of the markets across the country, they saw a surge in the early part of the year. So February, March, April were just completely on fire for them. Rising prices, rising home sales. And here, it took a little longer, it seems like, for that kind of explosion to happen, specifically with prices. I was talking to a friend in Detroit, Michigan, and he was telling me in March that they were having the best month they'd ever seen. And here we hadn't seen that happen. And I talk a lot about the hedge funds and how the hedge funds last year really had an impact on our market and on price. And then I talk about flood insurance because that's something that Michigan really didn't have as big of a deal with. And in our market here specifically, we're in a coastal area. Flood insurance really slowed our market down, for part of last year and the early portion of this year, where our January was, the worst we'd had in a couple of years. However, that has changed. June statistics came in, and it seems like our summer kind of took a little longer. Usually you start to see that that spring action kind of pick up the market. And in June, the average sale price in Tampa Bay went from $196,000 to $208,000, which is a $12,000 jump. Now, generally, you see a rather significant jump from the spring to the summer. You have more sales, you have families moving, and you have all those types of things. But to see a nearly 6% jump in 1 month in your average sale price is a huge jump. So, in comparing that with other parts around the country, RE/MAX has its national housing report, and we saw one of the largest month-over-month jumps in percentages for average sale price across the country. However, there were some others that had jumped. Detroit, for example, year to date is 22%. Now, we had 12% in 1 month, but Detroit's had a good year. Las Vegas and Orlando also have had very stellar starts to the year with average sale prices jumping more than 10%. Then, as far as year over year, when you compare our market to the rest of the country, the average sale price, according to the RE/MAX National Housing Report, is up 9.6% this year. We're beating that pretty significantly. We're beating that by 3 or 4 percentage points. Month supply of inventory across the country is 4.1. In Tampa Bay, we're right at 4.0, which again shows that we're relatively normal. Earlier in the year, we were actually below par for the nation in some of those statistics, and now with the June we've really kind of picked it up. The average days on market for a home to go under a contract is 77 days, and on average, homes are selling for just below 97% of the asking price. And when we say 97% of the asking price, sometimes people get confused. That's not the original asking price. That's the asking price at the time that the offer is made. So some other markets similarly having very low supply: San Diego, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Texas, Boston, Mass, Denver, Colorado. There's only 1.5 months of inventory. I mean, literally, I was talking to a buddy in Denver, and he was telling me that he is putting signs out at listings in certain neighborhoods, and while the sign is being put out, people are like, stalking he has a branded company truck, and they're like following him around to listings because there's so little inventory out there. And then other highest sale increases. So the highest number of transaction increases in the country: New Orleans and Tulsa, Oklahoma. So that kind of gives you an update on what's going on across the country and how it compares to Tampa. But our average sale price is up to $208,000, which is the highest average sale price that we've seen in more than 6 years. So we're above that 200 number for the first time this year, and the highest average sale price we've seen in a very long time. And I wanted to also, obviously we have guests on the show every week to talk about the market with us. Next week we're going to have show homes. They were on the Today Show. One of their homes that they staged in Tampa got on the Today Show, which was pretty cool. They're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about home staging. And then a couple weeks after that, on August 17th, I'm going to have a lot of my friends that are real estate brokers in other parts of the country call into the show. So if you own a home in another part of the country, are thinking about moving to another part of the country, tune into that show, and we'll talk about all the different markets, how they compare and how they relate to the statistics and the market we're seeing in Tampa. One other thing about Tampa, number of home sales, we had 2,441 home sales in June. That was consistent with last year, but better than every other year in the past almost decade. So, obviously, again, big piece of our market improvement. Prices are up. The flood insurance stuff is now kind of passed. It's worked out. And we're certainly plugging away towards a very healthy real estate market.